Okay, welcome everyone to another episode of Mastermind Talk. Here we interview inspiring people who shares their knowledge to inspire you and give tips as a CEO and entrepreneur on your path to greatness. And today's topic is how to take your business to the next level. And we have the honor to have Mathias Bönnemark as our guest today. And Mathias is the CEO of Qeep Sweden, who supports leaders and companies to change their view of what is possible. He is the partner and board member at Aqilles Invest, who invest in companies for an operational role for future growth and is a strategic partner to the network Friends of Executives. Mathias is known for being an inspirational and business-oriented leader who challenge his clients to succeed. So Mathias, it's an honor to have you here. We have a little history. It's fun.
Yes, we do.
It's fun to mention. it's 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Something I was a young sales rep, and you were there as a representative and trainer for Dale Carnegie.
Yeah.
And it was my first sales training. And it was a great introduction to sales, and to take it to the next level. So it was a really good course.
Yeah, you were a young sales rep, and I hope I was a young sales trainer back then. No, it was it's fun, and I mean we have crossroads since then.
Yeah.
In different paths, and now you're doing some tremendous work with the network Drivkraft, as we trying to sponsor in our way, and the way you're working with supporting leaders and challenging leaders in your way. So I think we have the mindset the same for the last 25-30 years. So it's really fun to meet up with you again, Mats. Really fun.
Thank you. Likewise. So Mathias, tell everybody a little bit about your background and how you come to do what you do.
Well, as you said, my background is actually training, and it started out December in 1990. Oh. So it's 30 plus years. There was a guy calling me up, and he needed some help just to get some information meetings working. And I was starting my own company, and I said, okay, I can help you for 3 months. And now we've been working together for 30 years. Didn't know back then, but I really enjoyed working with people. And he got the ignition going. And since then, actually, I've been working with different kind of programs, coaching, business coaching, and I always met and had the honor to meet people like you and other good leaders around to just get their knowledge and to share that one with the companies and leaders I'm working with. Apart from that, I'm stuck in sports. Been playing football and squash, and now I have the privilege of actually working with my own daughter, who is one of the best in squash. In not only Sweden but also in Europe.
Oh, really?
So it's always been some kind of going back to the mindset and the mentality of the game of company, the game of working, the game of improving, the game of people, actually.
Yeah.
So and I would like to say also, having the feedback down, I'm a bit of a possibility junkie. I'm a positive guy, and I've had my struggles during life, as many of us. And just to mention where I learned most was actually 11 years ago when I had leukemia, and I had to take all the medicine myself of being positive, having clear set targets, and actually working with people around me, and the people around me actually helped me. So I'm like you said, and I really appreciate the introduction you gave with challenging people to do their utmost and the best, because I think there's so much power within us. So that's basically what I'm doing. So I'm working with my hobby, as many of the good athletes say.
And that's awesome. That's really great. Yeah, you can really feel your passion. I think that's something that what I understand your clients really see in you as well. You're a passionate guy. And what you know, what did that drive come from? What's your like?
Yeah, I think I mean it's you could go um to the cliche way of saying, I mean, it's 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 having fun, it's a passion, and it's good to see when other people grow. But I mean, there's a really genuine part when you're going down to it and see what are the driving forces of people. Why do you do what you do?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like when you ask me, how did I become where I'm working at now? And some people say, well, it was pure luck. But I don't think so, because if you don't like what you're doing, then most of us would change what we're doing at jobs. Some people don't, and they're getting the victim of it. But most of us would change. So there is a reason for it. And my reason, I would say that I've had so many inspiring people around me, going back to when I was 18 years old and I was in the military. I had two reserve officers who was working, and they had so much fun. So I actually asked them, what are you doing? And they told me about this school they were taking, told me about the education they were taking. And I was like, I should try that one as well. So, and I did, and I found out even more that I want to work with people. So I mean, finding the people and having the guts to, what's your passion, Mats? What's your motivation? And just finding the ways of doing it yourself. That's so that's how I become who I am. And also, I mean, I like having fun. And sometimes, yeah, it's like I had a lecture this Monday, and I told them about it, talking about mindset 10 plus 0. And I said, you know what? You don't want to be normal. You want to be unique and use the uniqueness.
Yeah.
Let's be crazy.
Yeah.
People think that it's crazy to stand in a room like this. Yeah, but why not? Do it. See what happened. And when you have the smile, I mean, that's bringing you so much wellness to yourself. So I would say that's motivation enough to find what's working for others and do it yourself.
That's great. I'm a strong believer in good role models. I think that's the number one driving force for you as a human being and as a company and as a society, where we look at those who we want to be like and let that inspire us to see it in ourselves and to grow. So I think that's a wonderful story. Do you have a sense of mission? Are you on a mission?
I think I am on a mission. I think that all of us are on some kind of mission. What I would say have been maybe I wouldn't say problem, but my challenge is, how should I conceptualize my mission and in a good word. And then I met a company, again, role models, and they put down the mission actually to change what we see as possible. Because if we look at if I look at what I'm doing, if I'm working with a leader in the company, I mean, they're good at what they're doing. The companies are having good figures, and they could be high NPS in engagement and motivation and so on. But still, you could change, you could do more, you could do different, you could do less, you could start doing something just to continuously improve. So I would say to change the way we see what's possible. And to do that for companies, but actually to do that for the persons, for the leaders, but also for the human beings. I have the privilege of working with some juniors in some sports as well, and I want to change the way they see what's possible for them. So I would say that's my mission.
I think that's an awesome mission. I think, I was going to ask you why your mission is, why that's important, but it's self-evident. And I think that we are we become so customized with the surrounding and the daily work and so forth, that we are not aware that we are taking out the possibilities, and they become like we lose the sight of it. And I think it's more important now, probably than ever, when changes go fast, and we need to really be on the edge of looking out for the steps ahead.
Yeah.
So I think you have an awesome mission there.
Thank you. And as everything, I had that one conceptualized from a inspiring road model who actually.
Yeah.
He said, you know what, now we've been working, it's the third time I've been working with him in different companies and in different roles. And so you always keeps changing the view of what actually is possible in the function I am. So I was like, yeah, that could be a really good mission for the life.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, I noticed you have a little unusual tagline to Qeep.
Yeah.
It's a little bit unusual.
Is it the Qeep one that we will force you to succeed?
Yes.
Yeah. Also, that was coming from was working with a manager of a very huge national company, and actually he was asking me to coach him really hard. So, but by the end of the year, he said, you know what, you've been forcing us to do a lot of things. And I was like, oh, I don't want to force people to do things. So we were having a discussion around it and said, don't get me wrong, because you have actually forced us to succeed in many things as well. Was it forced like you didn't want to do it? No, but it was like a force for us to succeed. So okay. So then when we're talking to our bureau and they were working on, they actually showed us that they've been working on a similar tagline due to that Qeep is working with results and changing the view of what's possible. So they said, you know what, we're going to change the tagline and we're going to do it. So forcing you to succeed. So that's why it came up there. It was pure discussion and pure feedback from a customer again.
Okay, that's great.
But it's like you said, I have it on a T-shirt when I'm training. I have it forcing you to succeed, and they will. So you're going to force me to run as well? Yeah, I might do that. So it's forced in a positive way.
Yeah, that's
forced
great.
in a positive way.
Force for good. I mean,
force for good. Yeah. Someone I was over in England. I met a guy who's really fan of Star Wars and all those, and he said, "May the Force be with you as well." Yeah, could be that one as well.
Yeah.
So many meanings for a good cause.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of years now that you've been in the field of personal development and business development, and you've really been in there, meeting the clients, meeting the companies, and so forth. And I would like this to really be about how do we take our business to the next level. So how do we get out of the rut and really see what is possible for our business and take it to the next level? What is your expertise of what really makes the change, makes you grow? What are some tips or some insights on that road?
Yeah, and I would say the boring part of it's actually there's no news, because if you listen to people like me, or you listen to the big gurus around the world, it's always starting with, you need a clear target. I mean, what is it? Where do you want to go? Some people or companies are struggling with where they are, and of course you need to know that one as well. But I would say that you need a clear target on where do you want to go. And if you can't tell it for the next 5-10 years, there's an analogy that if you're sitting in a car and you're driving at night, you're not driving 200 meters, you're driving, and then the light will show you the next and the next. So you will continue driving. So, but you need to know that it's that direction. So I would say, first of all, don't underestimate the power of really working with a good picture of where you want to go. If you can't find the numbers, or so, it doesn't mean you need the monetary values and so, but that's a target. Second of all, I mean, just look at the thing you're doing with the Drivkraft and everything. I mean, get people involved. there are so many people out there who's passionate about achieving things, doing things, contributing to things. Find those, have them in your room. So when you have the targets, get the people involved. And when you have the people involved, then the hardest part is coming. You need to start doing it. You need, because too many people are talking about it. So that's why I'm getting from the part of it could be boring, because everyone says, yeah, I know, I've heard that one. We need clear targets and we need the right people. But still it doesn't work, Matthias. Yeah, but have you started? No, we don't know how to start. Well, it's like buying a gym card. It doesn't work. I mean, you need to go to the gym. So clear targets, get the people involved, start. And then I would say, have fun, do it with passion and engagement. Because if you're not having fun, you will only do it for this amount of time.
Yeah.
The fun part, and I mean, just look, now we're getting into December, getting into Christmas, have people smile. Walk around city with smiles, because people are being stressed about everything now. Well, just give them a smile and people will do the extraordinary things. So that's the icing of the cake. The cake is clear targets, involvement, and start doing. The icing of the cake is do it with fun, passion, engagement.
Yeah.
That's so it's pretty basic, but you need to do it.
That's great. I think, when it comes to goals and targets and so forth, I have this philosophy, and I think that we are in sort of a transition. I can notice when I'm looking at what people are aiming for, and I think we have been in a period where we have really been an optimization of the companies. Really need to be lean. It needs to be agile. It needs to be, you need to really be in there, have a slim organization who produces results in an extraordinary way. And I think that that's been a cost to that.
Yeah.
People are stressed out. It's really hard to keep up to that level. It's really hard to have fun and to have the great mentality, because you have so much obligations and so much on your table. And I think that we are moving into a new era where the kind of targets we have, it's of course we're going to have the hard targets as well. Can't escape from that. But I think that there is more and more who see the value is having a sort of an ideal situations that we want to move up to, where everything is functioning really well. We are feeling great. The customers are really happy. We are delivering results on this 5-star level, and that means we are doing this and this and this and this. So it becomes more like everybody gets involved as a part of the goal. It's the goal is that everybody is involved. And that's aligning with the results. Have you noticed, you who are out there a lot, have you noticed that kind of mentality or that kind of thinking?
Short answer is yes. And I would also add that, when you see that's working, that people are pitching in because of their passion, because of their engagement, because of their fun, and more people are doing it, then by the end of the day, they are creating better results.
Exactly.
So if you're just looking at the Excel sheet of top line, bottom line, and so on, efficiency, the best way to see if we're going to work with the top line is, so what kind of activities and what kind of people do we need to get involved to reach? Because if you just put the top line on an Excel sheet, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So we need to understand people in their way of what's your driving forces. Why do you get up in the morning and do the things you do? So yes, there is a shift, and I also think that it's more, if you look at, we don't have to take the analogy in sports, because take the analogy of a band, we could say a rock band. How can it be that there is a person sitting every morning before he or she goes to work and so on, and they're working on their guitar, or they're working on the drums or whatever. Well, they have the passion for it.
Yeah.
And when you put, I mean, if you put 5 people in a band who's really passionate about playing, in this case, rock, you will have an extraordinary band, and you will sell tickets to whatever. And sometimes they say, well, we don't do it for the tickets. No, they do it because they want to share their kind of music.
Yeah, exactly.
The good thing for them is they will have the money to be able to do it again. And I think you could take that one and just add it into any company.
Absolutely.
If you have sometimes I'm giving the analogy of you're an orchestra. So you're having the guy or the person standing in front being the dirigent. I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm on the cello or if I'm on the trombone or just the small triangle. I'm as equal as important, because the people who come to listen need everything.
Yeah.
It's not about how much you do, it's when you do it, with the quality you do it, how much you train for it, with the passion and engagement. It will sound great. Let's listen once more.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely. What I would say is the companies, and I'm talking from a company perspective. Some companies are having excuses because they think it's hard to measure that kind of work. And I would challenge them. Yeah, it's hard to measure system-wise, because there is no evident input to show you the output. But what if you don't measure numbers? What if you don't measure money? What if you don't measure percentage, but you measure something else? There is a way of measuring. You can measure, I don't know, blood pressure on people. You could measure how many hours they actually do work or do not work. How many hours do they spend together in having a coffee or having lunches? Because if people and companies are having spending more lunches together, then they will talk more together and they will work better together. So there's always a way of measuring how we getting ahead. So I definitely think that what you're talking about is what we need to be aware of in the future, or now and into the future, actually.
Absolutely. And I think it's really interesting that you are so into the passion. I love the analogy with the band. And you know, I think that we are really good at having a great imagination when we are kids. You know, when you sing, you have the invisible audience there. Whatever you do, you are doing it as if you are up and running and being successful. And you know, and somewhere on the path, now it becomes like everyday business. You do the things you have, imagination is shut down, you work with what you have in front of you, and you, if the result isn't there, it isn't there. You do the change you need to do to get results. And you know, it becomes like, I think that if we are good at imagination when we are kids, we should be pros when we are adults.
And I mean, I have my own, this is just a way of seeing at some things, and I haven't any proof of it, but it's like you said, the brain that we have is really good at imagining things up, especially up to 6 years old. So just take a look at one of the best studies you could do, just go to kindergarten. And just see the kids. I mean, you could put almost any kid with every other kid, and they will find a way of actually playing together. So, but then we start school, and this isn't about the teachers are doing wrong in the school, but we are putting ourselves in a bench, and you need to raise your hand, or you just shut up. And we do that for 9 years, 12 years, study ahead, 15 years, 18 years. And then you're coming to my office, and I say, oh, it's a pity that Mats isn't more interested. And so, well, you know what? He's been told for the last 15 years to sit down, shut up. And the only way you should answer is by raising your hand. And if you answer wrong, I will tell you you're wrong. So this part of the system that we are being trained in is actually not contributing to having the full imagination.
Exactly.
So, but I totally agree. let's have more imagination. Let's have more fun about what is actually possible with the things you're doing.
Exactly. So to come to that clarity for your first part of your like, have a clarity of your goals, have clarity of your goals, but let that be something that intrigues you. Let that be something that comes from like a yes, you know, you want this. Let that kid inside you become alive again. I mean, really. And have a, you know, I'm putting the words here, but correct me, please.
Yeah, sure.
Having the staff, the other people, the customers in that vision. let everybody be involved in that which you are creating. And I think that, you know, what do we need to measure on the journey to be able to see that we are going on that? I think we have touched on, you know, the important parts here. Is there anything else that you see that we are missing when we do the work? Is that something that tends to come up? You said before, you know, people don't do the work. I mean, no, but even if we start doing the work, is there something there that we miss, that we don't really have the right mindset around, or something that is you have noticed isn't working?
Sometimes when we're working with, with the board of management, and they say we need to encourage people to try, and I mean, we got a long way to the roof, and they have all those sayings. But I would say that we're missing to encourage people to fail. And there are some companies in the world who say that we encourage people to fail, but I think that the managers, and I don't know if I'm talking only for the Scandinavian and some of the companies in Europe we've been working with, but as a manager, you don't want to go to your manager and tell him or her that, you know what, we failed.
Okay.
So there's an ego, there's a personality that's, I don't want to fail. And I can understand that one, because I don't want to fail either. I want to show the world that I can contribute, but it should be more accepted, because there is no way that I can go through life without a failure. There is no way that I can go through life without, having to disappoint someone.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm not doing that on purpose. I'm not doing it on purpose. And if we as not only leaders, but as human beings can understand that, you know what, if I'm playing in the band, if I was playing the drums and I hit the drum by mistake, sometimes I didn't do it to ruin the song. Sorry, I did it. So you don't have to ask me afterwards, why did you ruin the song? Well, you know what? I didn't wake up and said, today I'm going to ruin it. And it's the same in companies. There's almost, I would say, there's no one who's actually waking up, going to work with an ambition of, today I'm going to ruin the day for my colleagues. No, you go and you go with the mindset, I'm going to do my best. Or some people don't have the mindset of doing the best, but they're doing the job. And when they have someone giving them feedback, the thought is, so you don't think I'm doing my best? Yes, I do. So I would say what's missing is the arena of learning. I mean, a mistake is not the end of the world. A mistake is actually our time to correlate or to work with the GPS. Okay, we need to adjust. So actually, it's the biggest learning we could have. A good friend of mine, Johan Els Nilsson, who climbed the 7 summits. When he was going to do that for the first time, what he actually did was he went to the people who'd done it and asked them, could you write down the 10 biggest mistakes I shouldn't do? So we had a list of, okay, taking care of. So, I mean, it's easy, but we need to do it and we need to live it.
So the question is, how do you create that kind of climate? How do you create, you know, because it's so much in the leadership, you know, so how do we as leaders become aware? Because sometimes we are not aware that we are creating a climate that is, you know, limiting, because we are just want everything to work, want everything to function, and can be a little too, unconsciously tightening up people a little bit.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the thing that we need to be aware of?
I think, it's a hard question to just say this is it. But first of all, I mean, going back to what we started with, role models.
Yeah.
Finding your role models, examples of role models, and being a role model. So when you're making a mistake, don't try to hide it, shove it under the carpet and so on. And you know what? Look, I made a mistake. This is it. Sorry. Let's do it like this. Not to be, what do you say? Not to be nonchalant. Not to put it like a small thing, because if you make a mistake, it could affect people. So you have to be genuinely in your excuses and so on. But I mean, you could be the role model, and you could also, if you're doing something, you could say, you know what, there are some mistakes that we've done previously, so I know that there will be mistakes, to open up the doors of, when we have them, let's put it on the table so we can work with them.
Yeah.
So, but I would go back to finding the role models, being a role model, and also getting people involved in how do we want to work with the deviations and mistakes, or because maybe it's in the word mistakes that we get lost. Because if we make mistakes, we're not doing it on purpose. So we're having some kind of discrepancy or deviation from the path we were going down on. So if we don't put the language of mistakes and the strong feelings in, did you make a mistake today? No. So if we change the wordings in it,
right.
But I would say role models again.
Yeah.
And then you have the role models in communication as well.
Yeah, exactly. So to communicate this, talk about it. And I think it's a good tip to change the framings around it. Perhaps have another word for it. A learning experience. We had learning experience, whatever. To take down the to be a realist, because as you say, it can affect people, can affect the results, can affect the clients, and so forth. But hey, we learn and grow.
We learned, and it's there are some words in our vocabulary that's got a lot of tension in it. It's like sometimes when people say we're going to do a change program, it's, ooh, we're going to do changes again. Well, what if we say we're going to do improvement program? So you mean change? Yeah, but the thing is, we haven't done any change program with the intention of not getting better. So every change we're doing is ambition of getting better. So why don't we call it improvement program?
Yeah.
So in the wordings, not to have so much tension.
Yeah, that's great.
But still, it's easy to say, and we learned with some of the vocabularies and some of the words. So get the people involved. You coach me, I coach you. Just give me the finger. You know what you said? Oh yeah, sorry. And then we go ahead.
Yeah. Great.
We can make change our own.
That's right. Right. So if you got the mic and the full attention from the business community, what would be your main message?
I would go back to what we started with. Smile. Start with a smile. I mean, when we're in the boardrooms and when we're in the management rooms, many people talking about they're gonna have fun at work. But I would say that I seldom see really, really fun work, because it's more, I need to do this. And maybe in the times where we are right now, I need to go to the next meeting. In 5 minutes, it's next Teams meeting or Zoom meeting or whatever it is. But that hasn't actually changed, because it was the same before. So I would say have fun and include people, and I would encourage people to have fun, and start measuring the things That's their internal passionate driving forces. You have that one on the table, you will have the results. If you only measure money, you will only have money. If you measure the other ones, you will have both the encouragement and you will have the money. So I mean, the story about you get what you measure is, I think it's more true than ever.
That's a great message. Great message. So thank you a lot, Mathias. I think this has been very wonderful. And it's been great having you on. Hope to have you on again.
Sure.
Down the road, share some more experience and new topics. You have so much experience, so it's always great talking to you.
We don't have to wait 27 years.
No, let's not do that. So thanks again, Mathias, and thank you everybody for watching or listening, and see you again next time. Until then, have a great week and time.
Same to you.
Bye.